All good marketing is effectively just a transfer of a belief system that then creates a buying behavior. And, I've been helping my clients and in my other business, the Kingdom Closer Academy, write VSL funnels and, VSL funnels that scale to 100,000, $500,000, even $1 million a month. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you in this video, exactly how I think about VSL funnels. I'm going to show you our VSL funnel and just kind of give you guys like a really short but potent masterclass on how to actually write funnels in our space, the high ticket online coaching and services space that get, consistent sales calls, relatively high show up rates, nurtured leads, and a sense of certainty from your consultation calls before they even show up. A lot of people, they have this association with ads that if you're running ads straight to a booked call, that these are very, very cold leads. But there's a way of doing VSLs that warms leads up, gets them ready for the call, and gets them actually willing to buy to a point where, we have a 40% close rate on our calls in my other company. So I'm gonna explain to you exactly what this looks like, and just for some proof that this does work. This doesn't include Stripe, PayPal, or some crypto payments we've received, or BankWire, or anything like that. But we've done just over it was about $110,000 this month with my other company that we started a couple of months ago. That's off the back of, I'm just scrolling in my ad account here. You can see here, just about $27,000 in spend. So just about a 5x return on cash, which is really pretty solid for this industry, in my opinion. Like, not to brag, but like very few people are creating that cash return at scale. And so I just want to talk about exactly what that looks like in this video. Now, to be very transparent, that 26,000 is only in proven campaigns. I've run a lot of tests this month, tried a lot of new stuff, but that 27,000 is on stuff that historically I've known works. So I've probably spent more like 35,000, 40,000, but a lot of that is just like tests. So I'm not really counting that because it's unproven audiences, ads, etc. So anyway, I'm going to dive into exactly what it looks like to build a VSL here. Let me just start off by saying that people buy based off of their beliefs, and influencing their beliefs is easier than influencing them to buy. And if their beliefs line up with what you offer, they'll buy. It's really that simple. A lot of people, they run these VSLs that are very like offer forward, right? They're like, here's what we do, here's our guarantee, here's how it works, schedule a call, like very offer forward. The problem with that is you end up in this like weird like chess match negotiating battle with your prospects. They don't truly appreciate what you have for sale. It just ends up being like, what can you do for me? How's this a better option than what else is out there? You're like price competing against other people that they've been aware of. It's not an effective way to market, okay? So I want you to understand this idea that I build all of my marketing around. People buy based off of their beliefs. Influencing their beliefs is easier than influencing them to buy. And when you could present your VSL video as a video that explains a new way, as opposed to something that explains your offer, that's when you can get a lot more people clicking, a lot more people digesting the material, and being willing to schedule a call. So let me show you this, for example. This is what I call belief marketing. This is what I teach all of my clients in the Kaizen Mastermind group. Clients of mine like Gherkin, who went on to have his first $1 million month in July. Clients of mine like Casper, who, and I'll share with you more in this video, launched a brand new business off this idea and did 100 grand his very first month with this concept. Okay, so basically belief marketing is, whether it's organic or it's paid, you're basically just taking people from one way of thinking to a new way of thinking so that they buy your stuff. Okay, if you watch enough of my content here, you will begin to believe in belief marketing, okay, and then you'll want to join my mastermind and get my help in building it because you see all the client results and all my results in my other business and stuff. That's what I'm doing here, and I do it in my other business as well. So I'll explain how, but I just want to explain the stages first. So first of all, you tap into a macro trend or a mass pain that a marketplace is experiencing right now. In like the coaching space, for example, there's not a lot of clarity on like what works. There's a lot of different varying opinions, and frankly, it's not the same industry that it was, just even 5 years ago. So a lot of people feel like they've just been following trends and don't really know the fundamental stuff. And because of that, they feel like a little stuck in their growth, and six-figure months, multi-six-figure months are just not like what they once were. You can't just throw together a funnel, call it a day, and ad costs are expensive. Prospects are generally skeptical. So we're navigating a very rough environment. Whereas in my other company, the macro trend or mass consensus is, they're burnt out with in-person sales. They're tired of door knocking, going door to door, doing cold calls, stuff like that. They want to work from home, essentially. And they also don't really believe in the industry long term. Like if I look at the pain points that we gather on the application process, for example, 1,800 people go through our application process, and of that group, we ask them, like, what reasons are you not satisfied in your role? So like bad work-life balance, slow, not convicted in what I'm selling, bad work-life balance, not a good culture, no growth opportunity, in person and want to be home, bad work-life balance. You can start to understand why there's a market for what it is that we're doing. It's because because we're tapping into some pains that people are, viscerally experiencing in their day-to-day life. These are real pains that sales professionals are experiencing. So how do we approach that? How do we speak to that? Well, we say, hey, if you're experiencing this pain, it's not your fault. You're just stuck in this old or outdated or ineffective way. So a big part of good marketing is creating an enemy. You got to be able to create some sort of an enemy, some sort of a common thread enemy. Like if you look at Russell Brunson's webinars back when he was doing webinars for ClickFunnels, he'd spend an hour and a half, 2 hours just attacking websites. He'd say like, websites are not the way you grow your business. Websites don't convert customers. People browse and they leave. They don't actually go through a series of steps to buy something or become a lead or inquire. It's just like this hub. It doesn't work. So he'd throw all these ways or these attacks at the old way. So we kind of do that in our marketing. We say like door to door is kind of like a waste of your time. If you're knocking doors, you have the skill set of getting rejected and talking to strangers and stuff like that. There's a way better industry for that. And that's where Belief 2 comes in. This is a new, relevant, better, faster, more certain, or easier way. And then we introduce that. We explain the economic forces that are at play that make the online e-learning alternative education in the high-ticket space a better option. And then we explain briefly how the format of our offer works. So if you can do a couple of things, if you can first speak to their pains in the language that they would use. You got to speak their language, otherwise they won't believe you, okay? You got to know the way that they talk and talk it, okay? The next thing is you have to have a very solid case as to why what they're currently doing isn't going to cut it anymore, or why it's a lie that they've been sold of some sort, or it's just outdated and nobody's really, making any updated changes for whatever reason, right? Like nobody's really saying the better way of doing things for whatever reason. Then if you can introduce a better way and make just a rational case as to the economic or world forces that are coming together that make this new way truly better, and then the format of your offer feels believable that it would install this better way, almost guaranteed, that's how you turn strangers into customers, okay? It's truly that simple on a high level, okay? So let me go ahead and show you our VSL funnel and explain kind of what we're doing at each stage. Okay, so this is our VSL funnel for the Kingdom Closer Academy program, right? And I'll kind of zoom it out just a little bit here so you can see, first of all, we call out our ideal sales professionals, okay? And we say get into the e-learning industry. Multi-six-figure earnings and flexible hours on your laptop at home with our online academy. So we kind of make them a little bit offer aware. If people aren't aware at all of what you do, and I didn't include this right here, people wouldn't get a sense of like what it is that we do. And I've found that actually makes it hard for people to convert, because if they have like no sense of what it is that you do at this level, then it's kind of hard to create that. So I include the word online academy quickly just to make sure that they understand like, hey, this is like an offer we have. This is an online academy that we sell. There's something for sale here, and I want them to understand that quickly. So if they tap the video, we'll just go ahead and play this a little bit here. Actually, before I do that, I want you to understand a couple of stages that we go through in a typical VSL. So this VSL, it doesn't show it here, but it's about 6 minutes long. It's not very long, okay? A lot of the nurture work is actually on the post-booking page. Our closers, our setters do a good job at framing that page. We mark all calendar events on our Google calendars, our closer teams, calendar as free until they've consumed all that material, okay? And they actually text us the word watched to let us know that they have, so that we can mark it busy, okay? But there's a couple stages in this video here. The first is, and I'll just kind of draw out like this, right? So the first stage is a hook, okay? And the hook, if you're a marketer at all, you understand the concept of a hook. You say something quickly that grabs their attention and gets them intrigued and aware and hard to look away. So I try to kind of do all at once. I try to get them, aware of what we do vaguely, intrigued about it, maybe a little bit of humor, and hard to look away, okay? And if I do these things, then often the hook ends up working pretty well. The next is introduce your new way, okay? And kind of surround this in some client results if they are reasonable to include. And then finally transition to the format of your offer and make a strong call to action kind of throughout the presentation. So you're making call to actions throughout to apply and book a call, because most people are not going to make it to the very end here. So this is kind of how I do it, okay? It's fairly straightforward, and I'm going to go ahead and play a good chunk of this for you, and we'll go from there. Look, I know you're tired of sales gurus and marketers, and I am too, so I'm just going to cut the marketing fluff and tell you exactly what we do. So this is a decent hook. It's not like amazing or anything, but it works. And it's because there's just a lot of people marketing within this industry, within the space, and people are pretty privy to that. And our ideal customer is at least somewhat aware of this space. We're not going to completely blue oceans. And so in that, I kind of want to speak to that and just make people out the gate feel like this is truly different because we're willing to address the elephant in the room, right? Okay, so this is our client, Matt, and he found this exact video and he was a bit skeptical at first, but he was, burnt out with his role. You notice that like slight language of like, he found this exact video that just like creates a bit of an air of like, okay, this is legit. Other people have clicked this link. Other people have got, it's like a bit of social proof, and it just kind of shows that this is like real, right? Wasn't making money, he was gutted about, and basically just, and I even included like a bit skeptical, because a lot of our prospects are going to be skeptical. They're going to be like, what is this? How does this work? But they're burnt out and want to be home. So I'm just like really painting my ideal client avatar's situation right in front of them, right? Home with his sales career essentially. And within less than 90 days, actually it says 19 days here, we helped him find a role that he now earns 20 grand a month in this new growing industry. You can see here a post that he made. Second sale in my new role, $980 commission in my first 3 days, which is pretty cool. This 3.2 billion. So then I transition into the new opportunity. I transition into the new thing that's happening. And I'll skip a little bit of details here, but I just talk about like the e-learning space blowing up, $3.2 billion industry, high commissions, great cultures, etc. Like I kind of draw at some point this Venn diagram of like a couple of forces emerging. This industry is blowing up. These business owners are usually trash at sales or lack the time. And being sub-8-figure companies, the cultures and commissions are amazing. And so that's the opportunity. I use some like Forbes articles to like back up my opinions. And I'm not just like saying my opinion, right? And then I kind of go ahead and say, this. So if you're ready to transition to this, you want us to speed it up by like 1 to 2 years, you've heard what you need to know, you can apply using the link below. If you're accepted, we'll book in a call with you. On the next page, you'll be sent to, we've got resources. This is really important. I don't try to do all the marketing work at the VSL level. This is like a very old, outdated way of thinking. What you got to do is build a VSL that gets them, sparks a bit of pain. They're like, oh yeah, I kind of am in that pain. I kind of am like burnt out with my role. I do want to be home. I feel like I'm missing out in my life right now. I do want something better, or I am tired of what it is that I do. I'm ready for a change. So you kind of speak to that a little bit. And then you go straight for the call to action, but you make sure that they know like this isn't the end of it. Like I've got more material I want you to watch. So on the follow-up page after they book a call, or if a setter reaches out to them because they couldn't find a time, and then they book a call from the setter, we send them it's like 2.5 hours worth of material, and they don't all get through all of it. Some do, which is amazing, and those guys close at like almost 100%. Like it's not even so easy. But a majority will watch, probably 20 to 40 minutes worth of this material, because we have them go through a somewhat lengthy application process to make sure that they have some intent. So we send them through a lot of questions and a lot of questioning. And by the way, I have this form set up so that there's questions after questions after questions. If they answer certain ones yes, then that gets sent back to Facebook as a conversion. So Facebook learns only from our ideal fit clients. For example, if they say they make less than $2,000 a month and they don't have at least 3,500 to 8,000 for our offerings, they're not seen by the pixel. Okay, and if they do say that they do have those things, if they say they make at least 4,000 a month and they have the money, then the pixel sees them. I'm just trying to get out of marketing to total brokies, right? Like if you just get a bunch of broke people on the calendar, like there's nothing your sales team can really do, right? And some are exceptions. Some of those leads end up paying in full. Like the one guy who paid in full the entire thing, and in his form he originally said he made $2,000 a month. But in general, I still don't want Facebook to see those conversions. Okay, so anyway, back to the video. We go for a call to action immediately. You can apply using the link below. If you're accepted, we'll book in a call with you. On the next page, you'll be sent to, we've got resources like how does this industry work, a much deeper dive into exactly how this works, real live sales call examples with people that we've sold in this industry. We've been doing this for about 7 years now. And then even at length interviews with some of our clients in our offer, so you can get a sense and sort of sniff it out if this is legit or not. I even go so far as to show you our refund and success rate within our program. This is something nobody else is willing to do. So I literally show you how many clients succeed, how many refunds we've had to process. So just to show you how legit our organization is. So here's how. So right out the gate, I'm just like, look, if you book in a call, I've got a lot more information that you can go through before your call. And like really legit prospects love this. They're like, oh, this is sick. Like, they can appreciate the candidness of this marketing immediately. And if you're watching this right now, you can probably see why this VSL funnel is working, right? It's like, oh, this is real, this is legit, they have other material, they're willing to share the refund rate and everything. Like this is solid, right? And so then I go into kind of how our offer works. So I'm kind of skipping around a little bit. Watching it back, I almost kind of forgot how much skipping around I'm doing here. But I teach like, I don't necessarily think it's one thing at a time, like top to top down. I think you just kind of have to hit all points at some point, right? So it's not necessarily this, then this, then this. I'm kind of hitting all of them. Like I kind of hit on this a little bit, then I hit on this a little bit, then on this a little bit, and then I kind of loop back around towards the end of the VSL with some stronger words in case the initial 2 or 3 minutes didn't quite get them. And so you'll see me kind of do that here. Here's kind of how our offer works, okay, and exactly what we do on your behalf if you decide to get started with us. First of all, we vet and source high quality opportunities. So we've been in this space for, like I said, 7 or 8 years now. We know what good opportunity is, okay, and we actually put them into a private channel right here for you to browse and apply to the ones that you like. Just today, for example, I just randomly screenshotted this from my assistant. You can see untracked earnings, $15,000 to $20,000 a month. This is just one of the roles that we happen to have available. If you're a client right now, you have access to it. So what's cool about having a tangible deliverable like that for your offering is that it just creates so much belief around the format of the offer, okay? So again, marketing is the transfer of beliefs, right? If they believe that the industry that they're in is not going to create the life that they want, if they believe that this industry can and will easily if they get into it, and then they believe that our offering can quickly get them into it, then it's like pretty simple to sell these, right? And so that's kind of what I'm doing here is I'm creating a tangible deliverable. You know, even if you sell like a coaching program, you should still have some sort of a deliverable that it surrounds that makes the sale relatively straightforward. Like for example, some of you guys may or may not know, but my dad is like an Amazon FBA e-commerce coach. He's been doing that for a very, very long time. And recently I stepped into their organization to kind of help them a little bit. And I was just like, Dad, like you really should include, they've got this software that they push now to the coaching clients. And I was like, if you just make that a deliverable with your coaching, like they get the software because it like helps them find products quickly. And I don't know the exact specifics, but it can help you know what product's worth selling on Amazon very quickly. I was like, if you include that, a lot more cold prospects are going to start to convert. You know, in the past year or so, he's been doing more ads thanks to my influence, which is amazing. And I was like, Dad, if you include the software, the format of the offer is all of a sudden way more believable because people don't necessarily buy like coaching, but they'll buy a system surrounded in coaching, right? And that's kind of one of the key things you got to understand with cold marketing is people don't want to pay you for your advice, right? If I just say, hey, I'll teach you how to become a high ticket closer. I'll teach you how to sign $5, $10, $20, $50,000 clients. I'll show you what I know. People don't believe that. And even though I could do that, and that is absolutely a deliverable that I could install, like, and that's something I'd be fully confident in doing for people, and my head of client success would be as well. It's like, that's not what's going to get people to buy because people don't buy advice cold at scale. They buy advice from people they trust, but it's hard to build that trust in like a couple hours of material. So what happens is by the time people are inside, they get the deliverable of like the placement, the opportunities, everything, and then they see how valuable the course material is, and then they see how valuable the group calls are, and then they begin to lean on the advice. At that point, they're like, holy cow, this is some life-changing advice. They're really shifting a lot in me. They're making me an effective closer here, and that's when they begin to appreciate the advice. But until then, our primary like deliverable that we lead with is like we have a ton of opportunities, but the truth is you don't even get access to those until you're approved, and you got to go through quite a bit of training. We got to make sure that we're able to help you, So I'll share this now. Let's do this. We also have proven scripts and processes that we've developed over 10,000 sales interactions in this exact industry that if you memorize and apply, essentially guarantee your success. I know this is kind of a bold thing to say, but we've been training people for a while, and we've got a great process. We also offer a 3-day, no questions asked refund on our academy if it's just not what you thought it'd be. No questions asked, no worries. So what's the catch, right? So first of all, we don't take on everyone. Okay, we want to speak with you. We want to actually have a dialogue and understand your background, your experience, and make sure that we're staffing these companies with good talent, okay, and making sure that you are actually ready to commit to and invest in this service that we offer, okay? We don't want to take on everybody, and beyond that 3-day window, you absolutely own the risk of your decision, okay? So you can apply below for that consultation with us. This might be the best 45 minutes you've ever spent on your career because this industry is absolutely booming and creating an incredible opportunity for a lot of people. Here's the truth. Trish? So now I'm kind of going more into the pains again. So I've kind of done a little bit of, like the old way, new way stuff, and a little bit of formative offer, but now I'm just kind of looping back around with some stronger language. So 3 minutes in, I've pretty much hit my entire sales message, but I'm like, just in case that didn't capture anybody. And what's cool is the best leads are the ones who are like, I don't know, I really want this to be legit, but I can't believe stuff that I just clicked on. So if you can just give them a little bit more to work with, they end up being some of the best, leads is the ones where it's like, okay, I get the idea, but they just need to hear it again in different words sometimes, and then it starts to click, right? And so I'm kind of looping back around, saying the same things, but with a little stronger language. Like here I begin to say, the truth is most industries are dying. Most talented salespeople have an 8 out of 10 skill set and a 3 out of 10 opportunity, and it makes them feel like they're stuck making commissions that aren't worth, the work and grinding 8 to 10 hour days. If this sounds appealing and you like to control your hours and have potentially a higher earning potential, work from home, less office politics, have autonomy, and to be able to sustainably work, this is for you, right? And then I add a little bit of scarcity here. If you're watching this video, our doors are open, okay? And they may close because we can only handle so many people at a time, because we have so many companies at a time, and we kind of have to control both sources, okay? So the name of our offer, and that's actually very true, is the Kingdom Closer Academy, because not only do we get you a role, but we can actually train you. That's kind of where the academy thing comes from, is we've got all the data and all the really scientific research that we've done into how to perform in these roles that we can apply to your situation very quickly and make sure that you secure your earnings, okay? Look, this is a short video. You just met me. I understand you're skeptical, so I'm just gonna tell you who this is for. So this is for you. This is just such a powerful thing to include in any VSLs, like who this is for, really calling out your ideal, right? If first of all, you value getting direct support and removing the guesswork, okay? You understand that this is a growing industry. It all makes sense. You want a better opportunity, but you don't want to have to waste time doing it yourself. You just want to get right to work and get plugged in quickly. That's what we can do. You also understand the results are on you, but you're the kind of personality type where you're willing and ready to take action to change your life for the better if you know that it's the right fit. I'm not asking you to trust me now. Let's get to know each other. Let's see if it's a fit, and if there's a fit, then let's get to work, right? Also, you're not afraid of investing in yourself, and you understand that your skills in the industry that you're playing within are your greatest asset, okay? Until you've got a ton of cash, buying real estate or crypto or things like this doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know, increase your active income first before you go and make those investments. On this call, we're going to discuss a couple of key things. First of all, timelines of how long it'll take to start earning income. So what can you actually expect? This is a key thing too. If you're asking people to book a call, they kind of want to get a sense of what it is that they're actually committing to by booking, right? And you really want to paint that picture. And a lot of the time what it is people believe in the offer, they believe in the old way, they feel the pains that you're calling out, they believe in the new way. Everything's there. Or pain, old way, new way offer format, everything's there, but then they just are like, I don't want to talk to somebody, and so sometimes you kind of have to speak to some of that, and that can help a lot at scale when you're spending, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a day on ads. The vast majority of people, they're like, I don't want to talk to some stranger. So if you could just speak to that, usually towards the end of your mini VSLs or whatever, that can help a lot. If you were to become a client, we'll be very open and honest with you. This isn't for everybody. We're not expecting everybody to make a decision on this first call with us, okay? Other clients we've worked with and their results, we'll share with you the average results. We'll show you inside of our client community and some of the people that we've got the chance to work with, the good case scenarios and the worst case scenarios as well, so you know what to consider, okay? And we'll also show our pricing, our guarantees, our contract, and just the structure of our academy so that you feel completely confident if you decided to move forward. For centuries, the way into any given field. Now I'm making my final case for our new way and the format of our offer, which I think is a very strong case. But any industry was basically just apprentice under somebody who's actively doing it, and this model is that because we'll connect you with other people in our client community who are actively earning, and you can learn alongside them. We'll mentor you as people who are actively within this industry, creating businesses in this space, so we know exactly what works. I mean, this is just a total shortcut. So go ahead and apply down below. Really looking forward to speaking with you. I like that use of terminology. When you can reference history and how things have been for a long time, people are very receptive to that. It's for centuries, you just apprentice. You just learn directly under somebody. You just, in order to get into industry, you don't go get a bunch of certificates and paperwork and a degree and all this. That's very new. You just learn under people who are doing it, and a lot of people, they like that language, and so I include that here. If you're ready to go now, great. We want to talk to you first. We want to understand your situation. Again, we want to sniff each other out, make sure it's a fit before we do anything at all. Okay, and we'll give you a ton of resources to digest long before your consultation with us on your own time, so you don't feel any pressure to feel like you have to ask the right questions and everything on that consult. It's a very low pressure thing. We don't expect a commitment on that first call by any means. We just want to get to know you and get a sense of if it's a fit, and if it is, we'll make you an offer to consider. So thanks for your time and attention, and looking forward to speaking with you very soon. So there you go. That's our VSL, guys. Let me know if you'd like a part 2. Diving into some of the material that we send them on our next page. The reason I want to break the videos up is just because this would be a super long video, but you can just imagine in that other video or on the resource page, I'll just show you the high level real quick, just so you get at least a sense of it. First of all, this is not the actual page. This is a secondary page that we link to people when they ask for it, but on our actual page, nothing loads except for this for the first 10 seconds to force to click on this. And this video really hooks them in and gets them spending some time on the page. Huge congratulations on reserving your discovery call with the team. Look, we want to protect your time and our time and make sure that you have all your questions answered. I'm going to share with you exactly how our service works, how this industry works, what you can expect if you decide to get started with us, okay? And all of that information is on this page. I highly recommend that you spend some time on this page digesting some of the material that we've taken the time to put together to help you feel like you actually understand what we do. Spend some time and digest the videos. We've got videos like how this industry actually works, examples of clients that we've gotten the chance to work with, how we source opportunities. We do things like we show you our average client success rate and how many refunds we've had to give because of our failure rate in our program. We give you live examples of sales calls from within this industry so you can get a sense of if this is something you could see yourself doing, among a bunch of other really important things. So spend some time on this page, digest the material here long before your discovery. So, and then I go on to say, and once you've watched it, text us the word watched. That'll help us, secure your booking on our calendar. They're marked free until we get that message and somebody else can book over them, just because honestly, it's almost not even worth anybody's time unless you've digested this material. And that actually really helps make it happen. And then what I do is on this page, all I'm doing is just reaffirming a bunch of this just with more language and from different angles, right? So not a lot of pain on the page, you know, just because if they're here, they're probably in pain. But a lot of like throwing rocks at the old industries, you know, like why is this industry better? So like in this video, how does this industry work? We're not just explaining how this industry works. We're explaining why it's like be all end all way better than anything else that they've tried, right? And how it's like dead simple to earn very, very well. Also, this section, common questions that we get. How many clients and success rate? That is formative offer, right? Driving home that our offer can install the outcome that they desire by showing like how many clients we have, the average success rate, and numbers that we can really take to the bank with our offering, right? Another thing is like, how do we source opportunities? This is a really important thing. People want to actually understand where we get the opportunities and what it looks like to plug into them. And that's another formative offer thing. So this page is really all about expanding on a lot of what I already said in the VSL, but just saying it in a million new ways and in ways that like really drive it home, so that there's a very low chance that if somebody spends time on this page, they don't keyword believe in my way of thinking and in our way of thinking, so that they become clients. So there's a very low likelihood that they don't end up believing in the new way and the format of the offer by the time that they're on the phone. So I'll just give you a quick scroll through of this page to get a sense of what is all on here, and I can dive deeper into it. But to be honest, like if you just see this will give you the gist, right? And we don't, a lot of post bookings, it's just like post booking pages, it's just like a bunch of testimonials, you know? And testimonials aren't that helpful for persuading people into buying your thing. They first need to believe that the old way doesn't work, because if you don't get them out of what they're currently doing, then they're not going to change, okay? They got to fully believe in the new, better way. Then they have to fully believe in the format of what it is that you do, and that the offer can actually help them install the new way in their life or business or whatever, so they can experience the benefits of it. Only then do testimonials actually help, because before then, they're just like, I don't know enough about this. They're not going to click on testimonials. They're not going to take testimonials seriously. So hopefully it's been a helpful video for you guys. Just wanted to do a breakdown. This is our first 6-figure month with the business, which is great. It's honestly like funny, because like on one hand it's a 6-figure month, on the other hand like I wanted to do like $250,000 this month, but we were trying to scale too quickly. I was just getting greedy, and like we just need to take more time to train our guys, because you know, selling 2 sales reps is a bit tricky, and a lot of people come in very confident and then they need a lot of work. And so we're going to be taking it a lot slower and just ramping up like one good closer every month or two. And, you know, hopefully by the end of next year, we're doing, you know, $300,000 to $500,000 a month. So thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.